Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to react to this video that made by Krista Kishi. I'm just gonna link down her channel below if you want to check her out. This video discussed about Pavara, which is very big, big issue, big debate about this game. Many people, talk about that the game is broken right now, that the developers don't really, try to fix it or something like that. I and my friend talked about this earlier, and we have this big discovery. Why is this happening to this, battle, PvP, leader wars, etc. I'm about to do, the debunk video or the discussion video about this particular issue, but she made it more clear than I can explain for you guys. So yeah, let's just check this one first and I will give you my thoughts about it. So yeah.
This is a simple discussion about Pavara's skills. Please don't be triggered. I'm not an expert. I haven't played this game for long, but this is only according to how I understand it. Every hero has three skills:
There you go. Passive skill.
passive, normal, and special. A passive skill is a base stat attribute, which means that it doesn't need to be casted. It does not cause any rage, and it automatically applies to the entire team by deploying the hero. Not needing to cast it means it's not included in the turns, and it is not affected by her slot position. Regardless where you put her, the team will enjoy the benefits of her passive skill. Her normal
There you go, guys. Passive skill. As she said earlier, that the passive skill doesn't require you on casting. So it's like more on um, buff, it's like relic stuff or relic buffs and companion buff, etc., whatever you want to call it. But it's all the same with those kind of stuff, which is when you enter this particular battle, that buff or that passive already been casted. So meaning with this buff, let's take a look for another round. With this buff, increase the damage dealt and damage reduction of all allies by 50%. Means in the first round, you already guaranteed with 50% increased damage dealt and damage reduction. That's already big number, 50%. So if you're going to calculate it, for me, if I have like 18 million damage, it will be divided to 2. So meaning I will get like around 9 million, right? 9 million damage. And if you're going to think about it, what if those players have like more than 9 million HP? So that means I can't really one hit them. So that's kind of explains a lot why I can't really one hit damage all of the players, especially if that players have Vivian and Athena, which those two heroes have their own passive skill, which also increase damage dealt and damage reduction. So meaning guys, with these three heroes, Pavara, Athena, Vivian, you have this 100% damage reduction already. So it's very overpowered if you're going to ask me. It's overpowered already. And well, there's a lot of things that you can use to counter it. What I'm talking about is about the weakening of some armas, some companions, some relics. There's some of those has this weakening, and also there's some traveler's charms that also weaken your enemies, especially ignoring some defense, etc. But most likely the most counter or the most important thing that can counter this buff is those heroes that has ignoring damage reduction. There's only two heroes that has these skills, which is Shedra and Moira. Those are the only two heroes that has ignoring damage reduction. You can't really notice it, so it's very hard to notice because of this is passive skill. I didn't really know how it works until now. So I thought passive skill still needs your slot for you to cast the skill. I didn't even know that you can, cast it once the first battle or the first round begins. So meaning they already have buffs before the battle begins. So I think that is the one missing thing that we didn't really, realize until now. So thank you, Krista Kishi for explaining it further for us to understand why this is happening. But yeah, I think there's no really counter pick with this stuff unless you have Moira, Shedra, and other stuff like Companion that gives you some more damage, and also some heroes that have these skills with which is ignoring some damage reduction, some relics also that has weakening, also troubles charms of course, and other stuff that has ignoring defense. All of those you can't really combine those buff that can counter damage reduction. Also guys, dot also helps you to defeat this, but I don't think you can counter this particular damage reduction if your dot is not really that high. You're probably going to lose already because you're not the only one has this high and DPS hero in your team, right? So it's more working on those stuff that ignore some damage reduction and also weakening your opponent's hero. So that's my opinion for this new meta. So I think this meta, which is the damage reduction, really countered my MC. I don't really know what to do with this now. I think I'm going to change my plan for this new meta. I'm just going to try to look more further and investigate this one so I can counter this one. But nonetheless, guys, we're going to continue this video so we can watch all of the things that she said in this issue. Okay?
Not included in the turns, and it is not affected by her slot position. Her normal skill is based on turns, which means it is dependent on her slot position. That is the same with her special skill. However, the special skill coincides with the normal skill, depending on rage accumulation. If it's her turn to cast a skill and her rage is not enough for this special skill, she casts the normal one. But we've gone too far. Let's go back to her passive. Her skill stat growth depends on her skill level. Like in this example, it's on level 6, so her passive is at 50%. That's 50% damage reduction, people. It's automatically applied to the entire team base attributes right at the beginning of the match. That, in itself, is massive. Let's say your opponent's damage is 1 million. As per the description, that 50% applies to the entire team, which means that 1 million damage is reduced to 500,000. Well, don't confuse that with an entire setup at this juncture. Let's just focus on the raw numbers as an example for her passive skill alone. The second sentence talks about taking
Lethal.
lethal damage. What is lethal damage? That's the damage which will kill you in one smack. Let's
Yeah.
say, for example, the HP is 1 million, but the damage dealt by the opponent is 3 million. Applying the 50% damage reduction, it is still considerably higher than the overall HP, which means, bruh, you're dead. That's a
You're dead.
1.5 million damage dealt to your 1 million HP. That's lethal. That's fucking lethal. But due to her passive, you will not die. Instead, you will have
Passive.
1% HP remaining and be invincible for one round. How in the fucking hell are my front row heroes alive and my main at the back is dead? This is why. That's her normal skill. Remember that her special skill coincides with her normal skill in terms of slot position, and the only difference is the rage cost? That's the killer right there. The normal skill does not cost anything. The front row heroes take less damage. In this example, it's 40% at level 6.
Yeah.
For example, slots 1, 2, 3 have 3 million HP and slots 4, 5, 6 have 5 million HP respectively. If the opponent hits you with a 3 million damage, everyone will get only 50% of that, which is 1.5 million, and the front row will enjoy an additional benefit of 40%
Oh,
damage reduction,
yeah.
which means they only receive 10% damage. That's why some people say, how the hell are my front row heroes untouched? It's because of this. Of course, no bloody team is all equal HP for all heroes, but this is for purposes of giving an example. Don't get me wrong, my discussion does not involve other factors, just Pavara's skills and how much it hurts. I'm not going to touch on the rage issue, just the damage reduction, because a lot of people are saying that Pavara is broken mainly because of the resilience of lower BR
Pretty
players.
much broken.
And finally, her special skill. If she has the required rage by the time it's her turn to cast a skill instead of a normal one, she casts a special skill. Aside from the rage grants, there is an additional damage reduction percentage, depending on skill level, for 2 rounds. During that 2 rounds, the damage received will not exceed a certain percent of your team's individual hero's HP. Okay, a little bit crowded, but hear me out. Remember that this applies to all allies. Okay, here's an example of how it works. By round 4, the round or the turn is just an example. Bear with me, whatever. By turn 4, each hero has 3 million HP. Pavara casts a special skill. In addition to her passive and normal skill as previously discussed, regardless of how much damage is dealt. As long as her special skill is active, it will not exceed a percentage of the HP of your heroes. Still a little bit crowded. Okay, so if the opponent smacks you with 1.5 million damage, that's already equivalent to 50% max HP of the hero. Pavara will say, "No, bitch, I'ma give you 35% HP to steal from my team." That's
Damn.
it. It's not gonna go past 35% for 2 rounds.
Yeah.
That's why you're on skill level for 2 rounds.
During which damage exceed. So from the first attack after gaining the buff may not exceed 35 buff. Dude. Calling out the developers. Please nerf. Please nerf Pavara. Pretty much broken. People telling me that Pavara is not broken and stuff. Lucky you, you have Pavara, you know? So yeah, it's confirmed. Pavara is broken, giving you most likely 100% damage reduction, passive, normal, plus this one, which is the ultimate skill, which also grants 25 rage. Also, all allies increase damage reduction for another 40%. Probably it's already more on 100% damage reduction. So I think that's one of like the reason why I fought someone in Nether Wars and I haven't even touched the first row. So that probably, this probably explain why I haven't really touched the front row with my, ultimate skills and stuff like that with my MC. So yeah, guys, what's your thought about Fubara? I think for me, guys, Pavara needs to be nerfed, especially if Pavara is belong with the team with Vivi and Athena. Those two also have this kind of passive, so your team already tanky, right? So thank you, Christy Kisha. So for those people who want to check her YouTube channel, I'm going to link down below her channel, so check her out. And also, if you want to check Eric Jim TV, you can also check the YouTube channel down below. Those two people is my friend from RGC. To support those new creators for League of Legends 3, I'm not the only one who is very well on explaining stuff like this, because I myself, I know I did some, review to the hero and I didn't even notice this one. If Krista didn't explain this one, the issue will not be debunked and not be explained furthermore. So thank you, Krista, for explaining this issue. And I think it's already been, solved. And yeah, I just want Pavara to be nerfed. It's already been like super broken with this damage reduction. Especially there's not quite enough to counter that kind of huge damage reduction, right? It's already been like 100% if you're going to calculate it, the total of it. Especially this one, as you can see, 90% for front row. So you can only deal like 10%. Plus the ultimate skill of Pavara, which the damage will not be increased for 35% of max HP. It's broken, bro. It's broken. So yeah, I think that's all for me, guys. Thank you again, Krista Kishi, for the clear explanation of this issue. I and my friend Eric, having those kind of discussion that we need to report these moderators or developers that not really, hearing our thoughts about Pavara and stuff. But the thing is, we also, we also have this idea that um, why Pavara is broken. It's also because of the damage reduction. So our thought is right about the damage reduction. And I just want to thank you again, Krista, for explaining it. So I think it's already debunked. I just wanted the developer to nerf a little bit damage reduction because there's no a lot of stuff to counter it. Yes, you can counter with Shedra and Moira, but the thing is we don't really have those heroes today, and we can't really counter it yet. Well, you can counter it if you have them, but not all of people have those heroes. Doesn't have those relics that weakening, those heroes companion that increase some damage without it, etc, etc. So I just want some update, if it's possible, nerfing some heroes like Pavara to decrease some this kind of stuff, like decreasing damage reduction, etc, etc. So I think that's all for me, guys. Yeah, I think this issue is already been closed. And thank you for clear explanation, Krista Kishi. I know I've already said her name a lot of times because she deserves it. Because of her, we already know what's the problem of the game, and the game clearly is broken right now. So I think that's all for me, guys. Thank you guys for watching for this react video. This is my first. This is my first time to react a video? I think not. Well, I don't know. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this react video, and thank you for Chris Takishi and Eric Jim TV. You can subscribe them. I'm just going to leave the link down below so you can check them out. So yeah, I think that's all for me, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like and share, and see you again in the next video. Bye.